So, what we're going to do to get started is you have me today. Next week, we have Helen McFadden and Sarah Randolph. And then starting in April, here's what I'm doing: Mondays at 10 for Power Hour, but Wednesdays at 4. So, it's still going to be Monday and Wednesday, but Wednesdays will be the afternoon one, Mondays will be the 10 a.m. one. And I'll give you some more things that we're doing in April if you're interested in participating. But I want to talk to you about something that I heard the other day on a podcast. Does anyone here know who Kristen Boss is? Raise your hand. Okay. I don't see many people raising their hands. Um, Kristen Boss is really making a name for herself in training network marketers and encouraging people to work their business in a really professional way. And I was like, I'm the kind of person, if I'm just introduced to something, I'll go back to their very, very first podcast. Like, I don't want to start with the most recent one. I want to go back to the beginning. So I had listened to the first podcast and I was sitting there going, oh my gosh. And here's why. I'm going to read this to you first, and you guys tell me what you think about this. She has a really strong feeling about the word hustle. And I've seen hustle on t-shirts, hustles on coffee mugs, and people like hustle, this is my side hustle and I'm hustling. And you kind of think of that word as meaning like getting into action. And it doesn't bother you so much until you look at the definition for hustle. And I'm going to read this to you, and I'm going to read to you what she says. And I want you guys to really think about this today when you're working your business. First of all, the definition of hustle: it is to force someone to move hurriedly. It is to obtain by forceful action or persuasion. It's busy movement or a fraud or swindle. What? That is like the opposite of what we're trying to do. I don't want to obtain anything by forceful action, because when I felt like I was in that place of, I got to close this deal. I could close it, but then they ain't never reordering because they weren't feeling it. I didn't take the time. And so I don't want to be a hustler. I don't want to have a hustle. That's not what I'm trying to build. So I went and pulled up that podcast, and I just want to read to you a little bit from it. And I want you guys to think about it. Take notes if you want to. I'm reading it on my computer screen, so I can't see you as I'm reading this. But I thought this was so powerful. There was a year in my business when they had switched over the virtual office, and it just was a kind of a hot mess where I think the new system didn't communicate with the shipping department. And so products weren't getting shipped in time. And I was spending all day, every day in conversations with mad people. And I was trying to hustle, keep everything going, keep my plate spinning in the air. And I watched my body change that year. I felt like I had went into adrenal fatigue. I think the hustle will absolutely destroy your body. And I think it actually won't create for you the business that you want. So she said there's a difference between hard work and hustle. So hard work will energize you and the hustle will exhaust you. So let me read to you how hard work and hustle are similar. So hard work and hustle can look very similar from the outside. From the outside, they both look like someone's working their business. Social media, checking with your team, writing posts, devoted to your vision, devoted to your goals. It's doing all the things, taking the time to put in the work. There's energy in both of those, and that's where they kind of look similar. But from the outside, yes. But from the inside, remember, if you're doing hard work, it energizes you. I've had times I'm working and I'm like, ooh, this is such a good idea. And I get so excited and I can't wait to do it. And then there's times that I'm working and I'm like, oh gosh, I just can't. I don't want to. That's the hustle thought. So here are some things that if you're hustling, these are the thoughts you're going to hear in your head. And if you do, I want you to be like, I want you to grab the thought and just be like a pro baseball player. I want you to chuck it as far as you possibly can, because it's not going to serve you. So hustling, here are the thoughts you would have. I should, I have to, I need this paycheck. I just have to rank up this month. I need that bonus so badly. If I don't get this, I might quit. If I don't jump on this now, I'm going to miss my opportunity. I'm going to work really, really hard now, and then I'll rest later. I have to get that bonus. I need to rank up this month. And if I don't, I'm going to quit. I already said that one. And if I don't jump on this now, so those are hustle thoughts. And you know what actually fuels the hustle? Scarcity mindset, meaning scarcity is fear of losing everything, losing your audience, losing your income. losing your time, like I don't have enough time. All of those are scarcity. So she says, if you believe success happens from an outside external circumstance rather than something you're creating yourself, that is scarcity. So everything outside of you apparently is what creates your success, not what you do, but everything out here is what affects it. And that is not going to give you that feeling of comfort in your business, that feeling of confidence in your business. You can have scarcity in your finances. You can have a personal belief scarcity about yourself. Like I used to say this about myself a lot. I would say, I'm a fragile person. I said it all the time. I'm a fragile person. And I was working with a coach and they said, you have to stop saying that. Well, I thought it was me knowing my limitations. And really, I was just labeling myself. So finally, here are the feelings associated with the hustle. If you have a hurried energy that leads to exhaustion, I do this because this is what I feel when I'm like, ah, I gotta. Okay, so it's flustered, it's anxious, you feel tightness in your chest, you're tightly wound, you're needing and grasping onto your goals. When someone says no to you, you get overly emotional. When someone on your team isn't performing, you get overly emotional. When someone doesn't give you the answer you wanted, you get overly emotional. It's a desperate feeling. It feels like a high stakes game. If I don't get this, I'm gonna quit. I need this paycheck. And you feel unsure. You just always feel unsure. And I will tell you this, I have never felt unsure about my business because I made a decision in the very beginning. And this is because I have a certain faith belief, and it actually is so beautiful. And I hope that if you don't have this faith belief, that you'll at least consider it, because if you could live in freedom, I highly suggest it. This is what I say to myself: He gives, He takes away. I say it to myself every day. He gives, He takes away. And so that means for me that God gave me this business and He's going to sustain it. I'm going to show up, I'm going to do the work, but I'm not going to act like it's all me, right? Because if it is all me, then I am up a creek, and so is my family. So therefore, that gives me a peace, and peace makes me work better, and peace attracts people to me. When I've been around people that are hurried and worried and I need to, I have to, I am uncomfortable around them. I do not enjoy their company, and I want to make up every excuse to get away from them. So do not be the person that I make excuses to get away from. Just kidding. So let's get busy. Here are a couple things that I want to do. The first thing that I want to do is go ahead and grab your stats, that CEO moment. You guys should be in that practice of every day writing down your new joins, your points, and your PV, and also track your success sprint credits, which we'll talk about in just a second. So really quick, grab those numbers, put them in a place that you are monitoring them. I keep them in my notebook. It's kind of old school the way I do it, but I just write it down every single day so I can remember where I was the month before and the month before that. I can track it. Okay, so once you've written that down, and I have 3 positions, so I write all of them down. The next thing I want you to do is go in those success sprint credits. And I want you to figure out, because like for me, I thought there's no way I'm getting to the top point. Like there's just no way. Like I said, it ain't happening. Well, now I'm looking at the numbers going, well, it might. And so that means I'm going to make a plan, because that's what you do the last week of the month of an entire contest. But anyhow, I'm going to make a plan. I'm thinking, well, I might as well just go for it. So I'm going to sit down and figure out what it would take to get to that next level. What do I need to do? If you guys are not familiar enough with it, just remember, to unlock levels 1 through 3, you needed to have 1 personal enrollment. And remember, level 1 is not applying at all to Jules. Level 2 is, am I saying that right? Yeah, level 2 is going to apply to Jules this month if you enrolled 4 people in this month. If you want to unlock the higher levels, you had to have enrolled 6 people in the course of this success sprint. That's 90 days. So, how do you earn credits? Help a level 1 rank advance. That's a really big boost in your points. So, if you have any senior silver ambassadors, meaning they've added 2, get them to silver. If you're like, well, I don't know how, I tell them they just need 1 more. No. Say, hey, I'm going to reserve some time for you today. And if you have any friends you want to hear about Plexus, I want you to put them in a chat with me and I'm going to talk with them about it. I do this all the time and I'll open up my phone. I'll have like 6 chats of my friend. My friend Dawn does this all the time. Dawn's like, this is my friend Michelle. Michelle, I want you to meet Jennifer. She's going to tell you about what she loves about Plexus. And then I take over and I close them. And she's like, gosh, this is fun. It's like an assembly line. She brings them in, I close them out over and over and over again. But she's new. Why should she have to know how to do that? So say, I'm reserving some time for you today to bring some friends and family members so I can talk to them about Plexus and get them into chats with you. So that's one way to get your success sprint credits up. Another thing that I want you to do is look for anybody that has lost rank and help them re-rank. And if you think you can re-rank, that's another good way to get success sprint credits. So we're going to spend about 10 minutes working on the plan for success sprint, all the things that you could do to boost your credits, and ask your level 1s to tell you what their success sprint credits are, because they may not realize, and they say, oh, I have 422. And you're like, oh, you only need 78 more to get $100. Let's do this. So we're going to work all about that the next 10 minutes. Hey, I want to answer that question really quick, Leslie, because when you get put in a chat with someone you don't know, you run the risk of not making that personal connection because you don't know them. They don't know you. And so I understand this is not everyone's personality, but I also think you can stretch yourself. All of you can do this. If someone's being introduced to you, they're not coming to you because you're the authority on all things gastrointestinal. They don't, that's not it. Okay. They are coming to you because they want someone to say, hey, there's hope for you. So what I like to do is when I'm first introduced, I say something like, hey, 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 and I'll send that Forrest Gump gif or gif or however you say it, where he's like, or something like that. So the person's like, okay, this isn't a robot. This is a human being. This is a normal person. And so then I say, well, why don't we start with this? Tell me what your tippy top health goal is. So I've already made it about them. I'm not telling them my story. I'm not like, well, on October 13th of 2013, I heard about this products when I saw a Facebook post from my friend Suzanne. Like, I'm not telling my whole testimony and driving them nuts. They don't even care. They care about them, their woes. So turn the everything on them, break the ice with something funny, and then ask them their health goals. As soon as they say it, send them a picture of the welcome pack you think is perfect for them. If you're like, I don't know, send the triplex. Over 50% of welcome pack orders are triplex. It's okay. Send the triplex. Then I send a voice message that says, okay, just so you know, this is a once a day drink. There's no caffeine. It tastes amazing. You take these probiotics and magnesium pills. I take them at night before bed. They're by my toothbrush so I don't forget. Read through what it says they can do and tell me if it relates to you. Do you connect with these products? I end it with a question. And then I even write that question after I send the voice message. I'm like, tell me if that you connect with these products. Because sometimes people don't listen to the whole message. It's all about playing ball, asking questions, making them feel comfortable. If they say they're not ready yet, or they have to think about it more, say, well, then do me a favor. Watch this video and tell me what you take away from it. I'm constantly keeping it going. And then I circle back a couple days later. I'm like, you been thinking about me? Although that might come across weird if you don't know how to say that funny. Because if you're like, have you been thinking about me? That would be weird. You see what I'm saying? Like there's a difference. So do what fits in your personality.
Only listening and taking a couple notes.
Okay, so you kind of know what you're doing with that, working towards the success sprint credits, checking for things like people that are senior silver, checking for people that can re rank or checking your own rank, making sure that the people on your team know if they're close. So, what I want you to do now is I want you to write a thoughtful, fun, short post about what we talked about with the word hustle. So, one of the things I think would be really helpful is if you took a picture of you being on this call so we can all be looking at the camera when you do it, take a picture and make a post that says, I am not hustling this morning. And I'm going to tell you why. And then you finish that out. I am not hustling this morning. And I'm going to tell you why. Because I want you guys to really give an awareness to people that we cannot exhaust ourselves and make us hate what we do, because who would want to do it with us if that's what we do? Would you want to do it if somebody was like, I'm in adrenal fatigue, but I made $1,000? No, nobody would want to do that. I hope you didn't take a picture when I just did that face. Okay, I'm gonna take a picture too. Okay, you should go look at Sarah Marble's post. It's really good. It's like exactly what I envisioned. So I would go see that. I just posted one. It's like half good. This is hers. It's awesome. The
Mr.
last
Pay
thing
attention to my shirt. Look what my shirt says. It says hustle.
that was not intentional.
It says hustle and shine. But yeah, don't.
I'm sorry. That wasn't intentional. Well, blame Kristen Boss. I would have never known. I thought that word meant, I thought it was awesome. And then when I heard that, I was like, oh, shoot. Because honestly, be honest, guys. Has anyone here worked in a way that they operated from scarcity and they felt exhausted, fatigued, and anticipated hair loss? It's horrible. It's the word. It is a desperate. In fact, whenever my husband and I have a disagreement, I feel like he becomes a hustler because I could feel this like, no, stay close to me, be my friend, love me still. And I'm all like, ugh, I hate that. It's like the worst thing ever. So just like operate in confidence, believe that what you're doing is going to bring fruit, because if you believe it, it will, because you'll operate in that way. All right, last thing to do, I want you to work on follow up. And the follow up I want you to do is to really pour into the confidence and connection with any customers or ambassadors you have. I have a folder on my phone that I save every cutesy little quote from Pinterest that I can find. And if they're ugly, I won't use them. I'll like remake them on Canva. And it might be, for example, I'll tell you a couple of the ones that I saved because I really am trying to encourage people in their health journey because I haven't done a good job with that. I spend so much time talking about the business. I'm like, oh, wait, we got to talk about this too. So, like, one of my graphics says, I don't know if you can see it. I don't know why that always happens where you can't see it on a computer. Okay. It's like one workout at a time, one meal at a time, one day at a time. Or you will never be as motivated, or you'll never always be motivated. So you must learn to be disciplined or be addicted to bettering yourself. The secret of your future is hidden in your daily routine. Focus on the step in front of you, not the whole staircase. So I'll send something like that and say, I just want you to know I'm thinking about you. I'm proud of you for making yourself a priority. You've got this. And then they're like, oh, she loves me. And that's what the feeling you're trying to get people to feel. Okay, I'm gonna have Sarah Marble in the call in 10 minutes. I have to go do a interview on Jules Summit with Sheila Medina. So make sure you're on Pinterest looking for graphics like encouraging graphics or confidence graphics or health journey graphics and save all of the attractive ones and use them as your follow-up.